Everyone, and yes I mean everyone in Call of Duty Mobile has been playing on the wrong sensitivity. Despite popular belief, speed acceleration is the best sensitivity. If you don't switch now, you will never reach your full potential in this game. Let's get into it. There are 3 rotation mode choices every player is presented with: fixed speed, distance acceleration, and speed acceleration. Now stay with me, I'm going to be going into detail, so I'm going to quickly explain what all of them do, just to go over it. It may be boring, but to understand this you need to know. So first off, we have fixed. It directly correlates to how you move your finger on the screen in terms of distance. So if you move your finger further across the screen, it will go a longer distance. Pretty simple. Next is distance acceleration. It's simply the further you move your finger across the screen, the faster your screen moves and the faster it accelerates. Now lastly, speed acceleration. The faster you move your finger across the screen, the faster your screen moves. Now, distance is insanely unpredictable for AR gameplay, but great for quickscoping, whereas speed acceleration is just hard to learn. So the safest option is fixed speed. And as you all know, most YouTubers echo the same advice, basically saying play on fixed acceleration. It's the best choice because it's the easiest one to play and the most predictable. However, there are a few reasons this idea is terribly flawed. First, this rotation mode sucks for sniping. And second, we are on mobile, so we really have limited real estate to play on. And that means that third, using fixed speed will overall limit you as a player. The problem with fixed speed is the fact that if you want to use ARs and SMGs, you're going to have your sensitivity on the lower to medium end to control it. This is a problem because this means it is going to be a pain to snap onto targets as well as snipe, because both of these require flicking, the actional process of moving really fast to get your crosshair to a target completely out of your field of view. If your fixed speed sensitivity is on the lower end, you pretty much can't do this whatsoever, or it will be a pain because you basically have to swipe your finger across the screen more than once. If you have your sensitivity on a higher setting, then you're going to have to play at higher sensitivities with all your weapons, meaning losing a bit of accuracy with your ARs and your snipers, and for the most part it's going to be a little bit harder to learn. Now, if you can learn to master a high fixed speed sensitivity, that's great. I and many others have been able to play at high sensitivities with fixed speed, and this also applies to distance acceleration, so with both of these. But the problem is, playing on a super high sensitivity is not necessarily good. It doesn't matter if you can control it or not. If your hands start to shake, if you flinch, if you jitter, if your finger even slips by a little, your accuracy can be utterly destroyed. Now, if we move over to distance acceleration, you are able to control snipers much easier, because the bigger the distance you move your fingers across the screen, the faster you can go and the more the sensitivity deviates from its base setting. While this is great for sniping because you're able to cover much larger distances faster, in the game of course, if you have a higher sensitivity, it makes it harder to stay on target when dealing with ARs, and even harder to master it when using it for AR gameplay than with speed acceleration. Because when you're using an AR on a gun when you're using distance acceleration on an AR or a gun that's not one shot, your goal is to stay on a target continuously and adjust your aim to catch up with them or shoot in front of them. Those are your two choices. And this means you're going to be changing your distance with your fingers, moving several times in only a few seconds, which also means your acceleration is going to change and deviate from its base setting several times in less than a few seconds, making it way harder to stay on target. It would be like every time you shoot a little bit or try to stay on target, you have to have a completely different sensitivity, which is even harder to master than speed acceleration, and it's not worth it. So, long story short, fixed acceleration is good for AR gameplay, but suffers when you're trying to flick and use snipers, and also will cause you to run out of space. Distance is good for sniping, but using it for AR gameplay is not the best idea and may potentially be the hardest sensitivity to master. However, there is one saving grace, and that is speed acceleration. I know, right? Now, while it may be the hardest to master out of the 3 rotation modes, it checks all of the boxes. 1, it can allow you to snap onto targets easier, which also means flicking and just using an AR to snap onto targets, which is just as good. 2, it can work for AR gameplay without any issues. 3, it can work with sniping and quickscoping without any issues. Now, the reason why I say this is because even when you have distance acceleration, while it's good for quickscoping, when you try to hardscope with a sniper using distance acceleration, the same problem comes up as I mentioned earlier. You're using a little bit of a different sensitivity because you're moving the distance just a little bit when you're hardscoping and trying to track someone. But let's go into 4. Lastly, it saves you screen space. So essentially, it's the best rotation mode that everyone has been sleeping on. Now, of course, I know there are those of you out there who actually have been using speed acceleration the entire time, and that's amazing. But most people are not. Don't take my word for it. What I'm about to read to you guys is a quote from IB. He is a successful PUBG and COPS YouTuber and player, and he specializes in sniping. He's been in the community for a long time and is an amazing mobile player with vast knowledge and great skills. So, without further ado, speed acceleration is found in almost every game. If it's not, then the game has a fixed speed at 1.00 or 100. It's normal for a game to use speed acceleration because it's the best way for a mobile gamer to perform under the use of a small screen. As for PC and console, they have an unlimited amount of space, mouse space or movement of the joystick, to perform. Therefore, it isn't required for PC or console games to use/have speed acceleration. Although many still prefer it and many still offer it because it's most favored. Mobile devices are limited to inches of space to perform. Therefore, its speed acceleration is their best friend. PUBG Mobile uses speed acceleration, which is fixed at 100%. COD Mobile, COPS, and Standoff allow you to manipulate the amount of speed acceleration you have. COD has an interval from 0 to 300. COPS has an interval from 0 to 10. Speed acceleration is the increase/decrease of sensitivity based upon the movement speed of your thumb. If you move your thumb very fast across the screen, your screen will move faster. Not only that, you will cover more ground. It will act as an increase in sense. If you move your thumb very slow across the screen, your screen will move slower. Not only that, you will cover less ground. It will act as a decrease of sense. This is best for mobile gamers because they are used to moving their thumbs swiftly on small screens. Therefore, the more speed acceleration, the lower your sensitivity will be. Plus, the more 360s you'll be able to complete. So, long story short, speed acceleration is the best rotation mode for mobile. Of course, it takes longer time to learn than fix, but there's still time before we get a year into this game and everyone is stuck with the sensitivity they choose. So if you're up for it, I suggest switching. But that was all. Let me know in the comments what rotation mode you use. I want to see how many of you guys use fixed compared to distance, and for those of you who already use speed, let me know as well. I will be releasing my new speed acceleration sensitivity in my new video. Stay tuned for that. But until then, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. This has been Tygon, and yeah, Tygon out. So hope this bit of information helped you guys. I wasn't really trying to bash anybody, just most COD Mobile YouTubers and pro players, they were just given the knowledge that would be the easiest, and that would be, of course, using fixed speed. So yes, it was not necessarily bad, but I mean, using fixed speed is good, especially for beginners when you're starting up. So I'm just saying, if you guys want to get to the next level, definitely consider going ahead and learning speed acceleration. But that's all for this video. Please leave a like and subscribe. But yeah, peace out, guys.